My name is Jay Langston and I'm the Social Media Secretary for United with Pride. The first game I attended was a game against Sheffield Wednesday. I believe it was about 1994, 1995. And it was quite a significant game because from what I remember, Sheffield Wednesday turned up without their home kits, and I think they were wearing white, which then clashed with our black and white shirts. So we had to wear our blue shirts in it. No idea what the score is, but I always remember being in there with my uncle in the East Stand, and it was quite weird because where we were sat was right next to where all the away fans used to be. And I just remember it was so weird because I walked out at the very end and all the fans were like leaning over, shaking our hands as we left. You just wouldn't say that now, like ever at all, to be hurling abuse more than anything else, but they were actually shaking our hands as we left it. So, but yeah, it was quite a significant game because obviously it was, how often do teams play at home but in their away kit, so yeah. So my favourite goal has to be Cheick Tiote, his one and only goal against Arsenal. I wasn't there. I wish I had been. It would have been unreal. But I was actually living abroad at the time, and I'll always remember because we were in this bar in Gran Canaria, and to the side of me was a couple of Arsenal fans on holiday, and I was sat there, and half-time comes along, which is a TV on a stand, and I just remember the feeling of being 4-0 down. It was just horrendous, and I persevered. I'm glad I did. I stayed there the entire game. It was fully eventful. The penalties were never penalties, in all fairness. They were just ridiculous. But I just remember the goal when it came in. When it landed on his foot, you just knew it was going in. And what was weird is that the goal went in, and next to this bar was quite weird. It was quite open plan. So next door was a Subway. So like you could literally walk straight to the bar into a Subway, and I remember just in my shorts sliding on my knees on this concrete, ruining my knees, and then literally in the middle of Subways, people are ordering their footlongs. I stand up and I'm starting jumping up and down, and this random bloke, must have been about 20 stone, about 6'5", just picked us up and started jumping up and down and just cheering because we'd done the impossible. But that goal was just phenomenal, and to this day, I still hold my breath every time I watch the highlights when Kevin Nolan has that shot towards the end and it just rolls past the far post. But for me, it was a perfect way to end that game. I think the significance of it was amazing. So my favourite is between two, but I only ever got one of them on my shirt, and that was Peter Beardsley. He was a magician, just the ball at his feet. He was juggling with it. You couldn't get the ball off him. Score with his left, right, free kicks, headers. he was always there, and he always just had this special connection with everybody he played with. So whether it was Andy Cole, or if it was Shearer or Ferdinand or Asprey, he was just, even at that age, he was still just class, absolutely insane. So Peter Beardsley for me, hands down. So the best game I've ever attended must be when Shearer scored the rocket against Everton. Sat in the Milburn paddock. Sat there, left hand side, and I remember because it always gets forgotten about the situation in that game. We were behind, and we ended up winning it somehow because Bellamy scored afterwards, but nobody remembers that. But all I remember is just Shearer just hitting the ball and it just rifling in, and there isn't a keeper on the wheel saving it. Even Shearer to this day says it's his greatest goal, and rightly so. It was just absolutely phenomenal. The audacity to try that, like we tried 1,000 times, would miss every single time. Like it's just pure class. So everyone always goes for the 95, 96 typical ones, but for me personally, it's actually the FA Cup final 1998, and the reason why is it was the first top I got my name on the back, and it actually has embroidered FA Cup final Wembley 1998 on the front, and I got it directly from the shop, and we waited for hours to get this special edition shirt. And I've never seen it since, and I've never seen anybody else have this shirt. So for me, it's pretty special. Just because I know we got beat in the final, but it was the first time for me as a fan that I'd seen us in a final and had a chance of winning something. So my favourite manager is Keegan, hands down. So much so that my 4-year-old son's middle name is Keegan. So he doesn't know it yet, but I do call him Keegan every now and again. But no, it's got to be Keegan. I had the pleasure of meeting him. He's just an amazing guy, just brilliant to talk to, brilliant to watch. He's just so inspirational. Every time you hear him, how passionate he talks about Newcastle, because it's not his club. You know, he wasn't a Newcastle fan growing up, but he just got it. You know, where very few have failed, he got it from the moment he walked through the door. The player that broke my heart, I think it's got to be Damien Duff, and it's the own goal against Villa. That for me, I've never felt so bad as a Newcastle fan. I'd never experienced that misery ever before, and I think a lot of us in my sort of age probably would say the same. It was a horrible feeling. Even the second time we went down wasn't as bad because Rafa was at the helm. We just didn't know where we were going to go at that point. It just felt like the whole world had just eaten us up. It was a horrible day, and that is the goal that player, Damien Duff, no. I'm trying to think of something a bit different, but I think the moment that broke my heart was probably the same moment. It was just horrendous. Like the whole city just felt weak and horrible. So yeah, I would definitely say that. A moment I'll never forget has to be promotion season, 1992-93 season. And I finished school, and my dad said, "Do you want to go watch the parade?" Went in, the whole of the city was absolutely, I was gutted when we didn't have it for the other 2 times, because I remember how good it was. And me and my dad got the metro into Newcastle. Luckily on the way there was a lad I went to school with, his dad was also taking him. So we both went on the bus, got the metro in, just chatting about it, and then got off at the Haymarket, and there were all these just crowds of people. And I remember the open top bus coming round, going into the Civic Centre, all the players going in, and then being on the terrace. I was on my dad's shoulders. I must have been about 7-year-old at the time, 7 or 8-year-old, and it was just an iconic moment. It was a really special moment, because what came on after that was just, you know, an amazing experience. So I'm a bit like Decker with this. I absolutely adore Saint. Absolutely love the guy. But at the moment, it's changed, because I've never seen such a dramatic change in a player as Joe Linton. I think at the moment, just seeing everything, the adversity he's gone through, all the grief that he's getting on social media and in the terraces, I've been one of them. I've never seen such a transformation in world football ever before. It's just been unbelievable. You know, mid-season, for him to just totally dramatically change his game, change his position by total chance, and he's just an absolute machine in the middle of the pitch. So for me, my favourite player right now has to be Joe Linton. So I got involved with United with Pride because I work for Sky, and there was a girl in there who had a connection that said, "There's a group starting for Newcastle, do you want to get involved?" And I was like, yeah, no problem at all. And we goes there in the ground and had our first AGM, and lo and behold, I was sat there looking through a corporate box onto the pitch for the first time, and I was sat in a group that meant a lot to us. So my background is I was a dancer for about 16, 17 years, and the main event that I worked on was in Gran Canaria, and it was Gay Pride. And it kind of came hand in hand, 2 areas of my life that I've been, you know, football, being super passionate about Newcastle, and also the work that I've done with through the LGBTQ+ community. Also, my brother came out despite him despising football, he came out in about 2006, and it's my way of giving something back to the community. I am straight, you know, but I still see myself as part of the community, and I do it for my brother, so that if my brother did one day want to go to the ground, he could do it knowing he's not going to feel offended, or no one's going to upset him at all because of who he is. You know, he's not going to feel unsafe in any way. Our relationship with the club has always been relatively strong, and I know under the previous regime there was a lot of people, they obviously, you know, didn't like the previous regime, you know, for many reasons, but we're quite thankful for the work that Lee Charnley and Mike actually did, because it enabled us to start off what we were doing. Now we move into the next generation, we're taking it up another level to a point where we've just had a recent AGM, and we had Northumberland FA there, we had the foundation there, we had the Newcastle Panthers, and it was all hosted by the club. You know, so we've got a very good relationship with the club, and long may that continue. So we are on all social media platforms, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You know, you can get in touch with us, you can direct message us, no problem, give us a follow, give us a message, and we're quite happy to interact. We do have a good relationship with Bobby's Bar in Newcastle, so before a game and after a game you can see us there as well. You'll notice, because we'll have our scarves on and have our logoed t-shirts, but you'll also see us in the ground, so you'll see the rainbow flag, or you'll see the rainbow scarves. Just come and chat to us, you know, we're pretty open. You know, it's the most rewarding part of all of this is people coming up to us and saying, you're doing great work, I really appreciate it, it's excellent at your work that you're doing, and they'll tell us their story, and that interaction just makes it all worthwhile. The rest of the season, so we're planning for UK Pride, so Northern Pride this year. It was meant to be, I think, 2 years ago, but obviously COVID hit and it got delayed. But Newcastle are hosting the Pride for the whole of the UK. So there's people all of the UK, maybe even all over Europe, going to be coming to Newcastle for Pride. And we're getting involved with the club and, as I say, the foundation and the Panthers. And that's our big project. That's the big point of this year. So we're going to continue to engage with the likes of War Flags. So you will continue to see us in the ground, but the main project this year is working towards UK Pride, and everybody's welcome.